deep within the catacombs beneath London, where the Velvet Covenant made its home, Elizabetha stood within her private chambers. She sat before an ornate mirror, dressed in a sheer nightgown, her gaze fixed upon her own reflection. Behind her stood Altair, clothed only in his trousers, watching her in silence. He approached slowly, placing his hands gently upon her shoulders in an attempt to comfort the troubled expression she could not seem to hide. "What troubles you?" Altair asked softly. Elizabetha released a weary sigh and slowly shook her head. "I keep wondering if what we did was the right thing." Her eyes never left the mirror. "I keep seeing his face whenever I sleep. So full of fear, begging, pleading for mercy." Only then did she meet Altair's eyes through the reflection. "Did we do the right thing, Altair?" Altair leaned down, pressing a gentle kiss upon the crown of her head before offering a reassuring smile. "Elizabetha, you were entrusted with ensuring Lestaan joined the Covenant, by any means necessary. You carried out Ishmael's command faithfully." He rested his forehead briefly against hers. "Now we simply await his return." Elizabetha lowered her gaze, placing one of her hands over his. "If it is ever discovered that I turned a mortal without his consent, then unleashed him upon the streets of London, resulting in the death of an innocent, Ishmael will destroy me." Her voice was barely above a whisper. "The dark gift is sacred, Altair. It was never meant to be used in such a manner." Altair wrapped his arms around her from behind and kissed her cheek. "Then no one shall ever discover the truth." His voice remained calm. "What matters is that you fulfilled Ishmael's order." He smiled. "He will be pleased with you. And you will prove that he was right to choose you as his second." For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Eventually, Altair broke the silence. "I do wonder, however." His expression grew thoughtful. "If making Lestaan one of us was a mistake. He strikes me as unpredictable. The sort of man who values his freedom above all else. I would not be surprised if he began searching for a way to free himself from the Covenant." Elizabetha's expression remained composed. "Do not concern yourself." A faint smile touched her lips. "I have eyes upon him even now. If Lestaan attempts to break his oath, I shall know." Meanwhile, back at Le Château de Lacourt, I sat alone within my study, contemplating everything Gwyneth Drayton had told me. Not who she was, not what Spectre was, only that the Velvet Covenant was hiding something from me. Something that might explain why they had chosen to bring me into their ranks instead of killing me outright for trespassing upon their territory and hunting within it. Perhaps she was lying. Perhaps Gwyneth was an enemy of the Covenant, seeking to divide us from within. Perhaps she had recognized my ignorance of London's ancient laws and sought to manipulate me into turning against those who had welcomed me, or perhaps the Covenant had manipulated me from the very beginning. Either way, I intended to discover the truth. I despised deceit. Should I learn that either side had sought to make a fool of me, I swear before God Himself, they shall come to associate my name with fear, with death, and with the ashes of this city. A gentle knock upon the door interrupted my thoughts. Before I could answer, the door opened. One of my familiars stepped inside. "Mr. de Lacourt," she said politely, "the guests are beginning to wonder where you've gone." For a brief moment, I had forgotten entirely that I was hosting a ball. I rose from my chair, straightened my jacket, and composed myself once more. "Thank you." She inclined her head. I walked past her and returned to the ballroom. There would be time enough for suspicion, for investigation, for answers. Tonight, I remained a host for the next hour. I entertained my guests, answering questions, exchanging pleasantries, and presenting the image they expected of London's newest nobleman. Eventually, I approached the Griego family. "Mr. Griego, Mrs. Griego, Miss Griego, if I may borrow a few moments of your time." They followed me without objection. Rather than a drawing room, I led them into the wine cellar, an unconventional place for business. But privacy mattered more than appearances. Once we were alone, I turned to face them. "Forgive me. I promised this evening would not concern business. But recent developments have convinced me that postponing this discussion would be unwise." I produced the newly drafted contract Arden Gerard had prepared. My signature already rested at the bottom of the page. Only theirs remained. "I have amended the agreement. You are, of course, welcome to read every word before signing, but you will discover that I have altered the distribution of our profits. I shall receive the smaller share. The greater portion belongs to the Griego family." Jedediah looked at me in surprise. "You are certain?" "I possess more wealth than I shall ever spend," I answered simply. "You require this opportunity far more than I do." I offered them a faint nod. "And your willingness to offer me the larger share despite your circumstances tells me something about your character. You are honest people, and honesty is exceedingly rare." The Griegos exchanged uncertain glances. Eventually, their attention shifted toward Lucinda. She met each of their eyes before offering a small, reassuring nod. Without another word, they signed. Our partnership was sealed. For a brief moment, silence settled over the cellar. Then Isadora spoke. "I must admit, you have surprised me, Lord de Lacourt." I looked toward her. I expected there to be another condition. "What sort of condition?" She smiled politely. "I assumed you intended to ask for Lucinda's hand in marriage." Her words lingered in the air. Most gentlemen blessed with your fortune eventually desire a wife. I believed your generosity toward our family was, perhaps, motivated by affection for our daughter. I simply stared at her. My expression revealed nothing, yet inwardly, I found the suggestion deeply unsettling. To bargain for another human being, to place a daughter upon a contract as though she were another asset to be exchanged. The very notion sickened me. Without a single word, I folded the contract and turned toward the door. Lord de Lacourt? I did not answer. I simply left the Griegos standing within the wine cellar and returned to my guests. Some conversations deserved no reply. The guests remained within Le Chateau for a little while longer, and I continued playing the gracious host. Though my attention often drifted toward the Griegos, their assumption lingered in my thoughts. Had they truly believed I sought a business partnership only as an excuse to claim Lucinda as my bride? Was that why she had been so warm toward me, so patient, so kind, always appearing at the precise moment my darker impulses threatened to consume me? She tugged at something within me, something I had long believed dead. My humanity. Yet, to my annoyance, it had merely been sleeping. Hours later, the evening finally drew to a close. I bid farewell to each family in turn. The Duquesne departed first. I thanked them politely for attending. Then came the Duttons, the same courtesy. Then the Clyburns. I shook the hand of their matriarch, Madalena Clyburn. As our hands met, I planted the smallest of suggestions within her mind. A seed, one that would quietly nourish the resentment already growing between the Clyburns and the Duttons. I required no more than that. Sometimes the smallest whisper grows into the loudest war. Finally, the Griegos approached. Isadora lowered her head. Lord de Lacourt, I owe you an apology. I remained silent, calm, composed. I meant no disrespect by what I said earlier. Lucinda warned me not to mention such things. A small, embarrassed laugh escaped her. I have a habit of speaking before thinking. She is far wiser than I. I should have listened. My gaze shifted toward Lucinda. She stood quietly behind her parents. A faint smile rested upon her lips. Our eyes met for only a moment before she lowered them once more. Without speaking, I extended the contract toward Jedediah. Relief washed across his face. He accepted it with both hands. Thank you. He bowed deeply. Then he and Isadora departed. Lucinda remained. She stepped closer and gently rested her hand upon my arm. Leaning toward me, she whispered softly into my ear, "Your humanity isn't gone yet, Lord de Lacourt." Before I could respond, she placed a gentle kiss upon my cheek. When she stepped away, her face seemed brighter than before. Hope. That was the expression I saw. She believed she had prevented me from committing something dreadful. Perhaps she had. I watched the Griegos disappear into the night before returning inside Le Chateau. Once the final guest had departed, the chateau returned to what it knew best, Silence. Only the quiet voices of my familiars echoed through its halls as they cleaned away the remnants of the evening celebration. Tomorrow would bring new duties, new preparations. I stood upon the grand staircase overlooking them all. Then the hunger returned. It had been some time since I had last fed. One of my familiars approached me without hesitation. She bowed her head and gently exposed her neck. An offering. I could see the steady rhythm of blood flowing beneath her skin. Its scent called to me, much like Akash's blood had once called to me during my years beneath Darius's care. I turned fully toward her. My reflection no longer belonged to a gentleman. My pupils remained dark. My irises glowed a dim crimson. The whites of my eyes blackened. My fangs descended. My true face, the face of the monster. The face of the vampire Lestaan. I leaned forward and sank my fangs into her neck. Warm blood filled my mouth, rich, comforting. Ancient memories stirred within me as I drank, yet even then, my thoughts returned to Gwyneth, to the covenant, to the secrets surrounding my existence. I withdrew before taking too much. Carefully, I thanked my familiar before placing a single drop of my own blood upon the wound. The bite vanished almost instantly. Send Giuseppe Salvatore and Arden Gerard to my study. A short while later, both men entered. I remained seated behind my desk, several documents spread before me. It is nearly dawn, I said. I have little time, so I shall be brief. Their attention remained fixed upon me. I require an investigation. Giuseppe, I want you to quietly investigate the Velvet Covenant. His expression immediately stiffened. Arden, you will investigate an organization known as Spectre, and one of its agents, Ms. Gwyneth Drayton. The two men exchanged uneasy glances. Through the bond of familiar and master, I felt Giuseppe's fear as though it were my own. He understood the danger. Investigating the covenant could very well cost him his life. I rose from my chair and walked around the desk before placing a reassuring hand upon his shoulder. Do not be afraid, Giuseppe Salvatore. You are under my protection. The covenant is forbidden from harming the familiar of another member. To do so would violate ancient law. His fear eased, not entirely, but enough. Arden turned to leave before I stopped him. One more thing. When morning comes, transfer ownership of Le Chateau into the name of one of the maids. Have my coffin moved elsewhere, somewhere secure. When night falls, I shall simply be invited inside. Arden nodded in understanding before departing. Giuseppe followed shortly afterward, alone once more. I returned to my chambers. I opened my coffin, lowered myself into its darkness, closed the lid, and surrendered to sleep. I dreamed once again of Akash, the mother of all vampires. Fragments, nothing more. I remembered Darius leading me into her chamber. I remembered Akash awakening from her stone-like slumber, her voice calling to me like a moth drawn helplessly toward a flame. Then, her fangs pierced my throat. Darkness. The next memory arrived suddenly. I awoke suspended in the air. Akash sat upright, speaking endlessly in a language I could not understand. Moments later, I fell. Darius dragged me from her chamber, then from his home entirely. Even now, his final words continued to haunt me.
She has you now. You are hers, and she is yours, unworthy.
I still did not understand. What had happened after Akash bit me? Why had Darius cast me out? And why could I remember everything, except that? Perhaps one night, the answers would return. Perhaps one night, I would stand before Akash again, and perhaps I would finally learn the truth. The sun rose. Its light touched every rooftop across London. Birds sang, carriages rolled through the streets, merchants opened their shops. Some hurried to begin another day's labor. Others awoke nursing painful hangovers, courtesy of the previous night's indulgence. As for me, I slept, or rather, I lay in what vampires call the dead sleep. A death-like state from which we do not awaken. One may move us, speak to us, strike us. We shall not wake. It is the most vulnerable state of our existence. The very weakness that allowed my maker, Severin Vale, to steal the dark gift centuries ago. While I remained imprisoned within that lifeless slumber, my coffin was safely removed from Le Château de Lacourt. Arden Gerard and one of the maids, Saraya Frenière, spent the morning transferring ownership of the estate into her name, only on paper. In truth, Le Château remained mine. But by placing its deed in mortal hands, it became a sanctuary for my familiars, a place no uninvited immortal could enter, a simple loophole, yet an effective one. While Arden and Saraya attended to those affairs before beginning his investigation into Spectre, Giuseppe pursued another task entirely, the Velvet Covenant. I'd given him several names to watch for: Elisabetta Lestrange, Allegra de Fontaine, Altair de Gramont, Valentina de Fontaine, Rautha Auditore da Firenze, Shardani Jovanovic, the names of London's hidden rulers, the vampires of the Velvet Quarter. As my body slept, my mind wandered, reaching outward through the darkness, searching, calling, my fledglings, my mother, Elisande de Lacourt, my sister, Vivienne de Lacourt. No answer came, not even the faintest whisper. Since leaving Limousin, I had been alone. No companionship, no family, no one to call my own, until now. Perhaps the Griegos, my familiars, and Lucinda. Night returned. I awoke. The lid of my coffin groaned open as I pushed it aside. I climbed out and dressed before stepping outside. The barn doors opened. Arden and Saraya stood waiting. Saraya smiled warmly before lowering her head. "My lord, please, come inside." Her invitation was all I required. I stepped across the threshold without resistance. Soon afterward, my coffin was returned to my chambers within Le Château. Giuseppe greeted me with a nervous smile before following Arden and me into my study. Saria had volunteered to become my regular source of nourishment, a generous offer. one I accepted cautiously, should she perish. Le Château would once again become vulnerable to any immortal wishing to enter. She sat quietly beside my desk and offered me her wrist. I made only a small incision. She flinched as crimson blood flowed into a waiting glass. Only a little, no more than necessary. When I had enough, I nicked my own finger and allowed a single drop of my blood to fall upon the wound. It healed instantly. As always, thank you, Saria. She smiled before excusing herself. The fewer people who knew what we discussed, the safer they remained. I lifted the glass. One sip. Warmth spread throughout my body. The exhaustion of dead sleep vanished. Strength returned to every limb. Life, or whatever passed for it in a vampire. I closed my eyes briefly, allowing the sensation to wash over me. Then I opened them. Well, I looked between the two gentlemen. What have you found? Arden spoke first. He presented me with the new title deed. Saria Frenier now officially owned Le Château de Lacourt. On paper, I thanked him sincerely, though my interest lay elsewhere. Now, I folded the document and placed it aside. Tell me about the Velvet Covenant, and this woman, Gwyneth Drayton. Arden produced another collection of papers. My lord, Spectre is exceedingly difficult to investigate. He adjusted his spectacles before continuing. It is indeed a secret organization. Supernatural preservation and experimental containment, tactical research and evaluation. They are believed to have existed for thousands of years. Most people dismiss them as folklore, conspiracy. A hidden society manipulating world events from the shadows. I remained silent, allowing him to continue. The rumors suggest Spectre conceals supernatural incidents from humanity. They study, capture, contain, and, when necessary, eliminate supernatural threats. They exist to preserve the balance between our world and theirs. I leaned back in my chair. So, they police the supernatural. They ensure creatures such as ourselves remain hidden. Arden nodded. That appears to be their purpose, my lord. Interesting. Not necessarily an enemy, nor necessarily an ally. Then my attention shifted toward Giuseppe. He produced only a single piece of paper, an address. I found very little concerning the Covenant, he admitted, but I believe this is where you shall find the answers you seek. I studied the address. Where is this? Blackthorn district, my lord. Blackthorn. The very place I had been warned never to hunt. I could walk its streets, but I was forbidden from spilling blood there. Curious. Thank you, gentlemen. You have both served me well. I folded the paper and slipped it inside my coat. Our discussion never leaves this room. They nodded in understanding before taking their leave, alone once more. I looked again at the address. A single name had been written beneath it. Gretchen. If Gwyneth had spoken the truth, then perhaps this Gretchen possessed the answers I sought. The question remained, was the Velvet Covenant deceiving me, or was Spectre attempting to turn me against them? Either way, Blackthorn awaited, and before this night was over, I intended to begin finding the truth. I left my study and walked the silent halls of Le Chateau. The chateau had returned to its natural state, still, quiet, empty. My familiars had long since retired to their rooms after the previous evening's festivities, leaving only the occasional crackle of candlelight to accompany my footsteps, dressed entirely in black, my long coat trailing behind me. I made my way toward the great entrance. I opened the doors. Night greeted me. Clouds concealed much of the moon, allowing only pale shafts of silver light to spill across London's rooftops. The streets were quieter now. Only a handful of souls wandered them at this hour. Ordinarily, I would have hunted, but Soraya's generous offering had already satisfied my hunger. Tonight, I hunted answers instead. I took to the sky. London drifted beneath me, the Velvet Quarter, Whitechapel, the winding streets of Blackthorn district. Eventually, I found the address Giuseppe had given me. A modest house stood behind an iron gate, its windows still illuminated. I landed softly before the entrance and rang the bell. Nothing. I rang again. Moments later, I heard the lock disengage. The door opened. A young woman stood before me. She appeared to be in her middle 20s, older than I had been when Severin Vale stole my mortality from me. "Good evening," I said politely. "Forgive me for arriving so late." She simply stared at me, remaining safely inside her home, watching, judging. "My name is Lestaan de Lacourt," she finished the sentence for me. "I know who you are, Monsieur de Lacourt, and I know what you are." I studied her carefully. "Have we met before?" She shook her head. "No, but spirits speak. They told me to expect your visit." "Gretchen," she nodded. "I assume you know why I have come." "I know you seek something," she replied. "I am a witch, not a psychic. Very few vampires from the Velvet Quarter seek out Blackthorn. So tell me, what is it you want?" I hesitated. "I seek truth. I believe the Velvet Covenant has concealed something from me. I need to know what it is, and why I seem to stand at the center of it." She watched me for several long moments. "You may enter." She stepped aside. I inclined my head respectfully before crossing the threshold. She led me into a workroom unlike anything I had seen before. Shelves overflowed with herbs, roots, candles, bundles of dried plants hung from the ceiling. Old books lined every wall. A single round table occupied the center of the room. "Please, sit." I did. "Thank you for inviting me into your home. It is lovely." She folded her arms. "Stop dancing around the matter. Speak plainly." I disliked her bluntness. Fortunately, it was her home. "I have reason to believe the Velvet Covenant has deceived me. I wish to know why, and what they are hiding." Gretchen released a slow breath. "They hide many things. Perhaps the spirits will answer. Perhaps they will not. And even if they do, the truth you seek may not be the truth you wish to hear. I understand." She approached a cabinet filled with ritual implements. From it, she retrieved a clay bowl, black salt, graveyard earth, crushed mugwort, dried sage. She placed the ingredients into the bowl before tracing a perfect circle of salt around it. Then she lit a bundle of herbs. Ancient words escaped her lips. Va el ith va edis, noxa elon tenath iman, spiritos na ejot mazis. A cold wind swept through the room. Candles flickered violently. Whispers emerged from every corner. Laughter, weeping, anger, voices overlapping one another until they became impossible to distinguish. Then Gretchen spoke once more. Mama, na ejot mazis. Instantly, silence. When she looked toward me again, her eyes no longer belonged to Gretchen.
You do not belong here, Lestaan, son of Armand and Elisande.
Her voice was layered. One voice, many voices, human, something else.
Speak quickly.
I steadied myself. Why did the Velvet Covenant spare my life? A long silence followed.
Because of the blood within you. The blood cannot be destroyed, not while the Sideline War endures.
I frowned. The Sideline War?
The war between bloodlines, the war between the descendants of the first ones.
The spirit continued.
You carry Severin's blood. You carry Darius's blood. You carry the blood of Nakasha.
The unfamiliar name echoed within my thoughts. Who is Nakasha?
You once knew. You were made to forget.
My heart tightened. Can you restore my memory?
I can, but the pain may destroy you.
I accept the risk. She filled a glass with water before stirring in turmeric, black salt, and bitter herbs. She held it out to me.
Drink.
I accepted it. The taste was revolting. She insisted I finish every drop. The moment I did, agony exploded throughout my skull. My vision vanished. The room dissolved. I was somewhere else. Darius's island. The hidden chamber, the first ones. Akash, no. Nakasha. She called to me. I approached her. She asked for my blood. I offered only a single drop. She seized me. Her fangs pierced my throat. She drank until death embraced me. Then, she opened her own wrist, forced me to drink. Her blood flooded my body. Power unlike anything I had ever known consumed me, night after night. While Darius remained away, we fed from one another. Ankil watched, silent, jealous, powerless. Nakasha smiled. My name was never Akash. They changed it. They hid me. I am Nakasha. I am the first. And Ankil, who is actually Enakil, is the first I turned. Her voice filled my mind for weeks. Then Darius returned. His fury shook the island itself. He forced Nakasha back into her stone-like slumber, dragged me from the chamber, cast me from his home. His final words echoed through eternity. She has you now. You are hers. And she is yours, unworthy. The vision shattered. I gasped for breath. I found myself lying upon Gretchen's floor. Every muscle trembled. My head throbbed with unbearable pain. The forgotten memories had returned, all of them. I looked toward Gretchen. The Velvet Covenant. Who leads them? They call him Ishmael. I slowly stood. Everything suddenly made sense, or perhaps nothing did. I reached into my coat and placed payment upon her table. You have my gratitude. As I reached the door, Gretchen spoke once more. Monsieur de Lacourt, I paused. If Nakasha's blood truly flows through your veins, the Covenant does not merely wish to recruit you. They wish to use you, to win the Sireline War. I looked ahead, a war built upon lies. Without another word, I stepped into the night. I took to the sky once more, lost within thoughts that refused to quiet. Without realizing it, I drifted over the abandoned settlement of Thornwick in the Blackmoor region. I descended onto a weathered stone overlooking the forgotten village. There, alone, beneath the moon. I reached out once again with my mind gift, searching, calling, Mother, Lestaan de Lacourt, Vivienne, can you hear me? Only silence answered. I sat upon a large stone overlooking the abandoned village. The night was beautiful. Listening to nature's quiet symphony brought me peace. It cleared my mind. This rotten ghost town of Thornwick had become my refuge, a place where I could escape everything. As I sat there, my memories returned with startling clarity. Aka, no, Nakasha. Her words had never escaped her lips. They had echoed directly within my mind. Whilst her mouth rambled endlessly, shifting between the ancient tongue of Karet and modern English, her true voice spoke only to me. She told me of mankind, of kingdoms, of suffering, of the horrors committed in the name of righteousness. Men marched to die in wars begun by greedy kings. Women denied even the smallest freedoms, the innocent enslaved, children orphaned, trials, executions. Women and men alike burned alive beneath banners carried by those claiming to serve a merciful God. And throughout her endless ramblings, one name surfaced again and again. Aemon. Now I understood. I understood why history had been rewritten, why the lie had been created, why the Sireline War existed, why so much blood had been spilled protecting the falsehood. A vampire's strength is determined not merely by age, but by generation, and by the potency of the blood that created them or the blood they consume. For an entire month, I had fed from Nakasha herself. During that same month, Enekil awoke. The king of the damned nearly beat me to final death. Had Nakasha not intervened, I would have become nothing more than dust scattered across Darius's chamber. Instead, she healed every wound with her ancient blood, As I sit here tonight, there exists only one vampire stronger than I. Nakasha herself. Then, the forest fell silent. The wind ceased. The crickets stopped singing. Nature itself seemed to hold its breath. Footsteps, heavy boots crushed dry leaves with each measured step. I rose slowly and turned. Jardani Jovanovich emerged from the darkness. He watched me cautiously. I had long suspected he distrusted me. I could hardly blame him. I'd given the Covenant little reason to trust me. You were told never to come here alone, Lestaan. His voice was calm, firm. I studied him. What are you doing here? I asked. Were you following me? He tilted his head. No. Elizabetha sent me. There is a gathering. She ordered me to bring you. She gave no explanation, only an order. Perhaps he spoke the truth. Perhaps he lied. At this point, it hardly mattered. Everything I had learned tonight demanded answers. The Covenant wanted something from me. That much was now certain. We should leave. His tone sharpened. I wish to know what everyone fears about Blackmoor. Lestaan, you tread upon forbidden ground. Trust me. He slowly raised a hand and pointed beyond me, toward the forest. I turned, at first. Nothing. Then, eyes. Dozens of them, amber, golden, watching from between the ancient trees. Low growls rolled through the darkness. Branches snapped beneath unseen weight. Whatever lurked within those woods, it was no vampire. This is dangerous territory. Without another word, Jardani vanished with vampire speed. I remained where I stood for only a heartbeat longer, unable to comprehend what I had just witnessed. Then, I followed. The journey back to London was swift. Together we descended into the ancient catacombs beneath the city, the home of the Velvet Covenant. Everyone was already present. Altair, Valentina, Allegra, Rotha, Elizabetha, all stood waiting. My thoughts still lingered upon those glowing eyes within Blackmoor's forest. You will never believe where I found him, Jardani said. Thornwick. Every face turned toward me. Several widened in disbelief. Have you completely lost your sanity? Elizabetha snapped. You were warned never to venture there alone. You fool! I ignored the insult. What dwells within the forests of Blackmoor, Elizabetha? My voice remained calm, serious. Before she could answer, another voice echoed throughout the chamber.
The children of the moon.
Everyone turned. At the far end of the chamber stood a lone figure before the ancient throne. He had not walked into the room. He simply was there, tall, ancient. Long black hair fell beyond his shoulders. His skin was unnaturally pale. His crimson and black robes shimmered beneath the candlelight, embroidered with intricate patterns that seemed almost alive. Even his fingernails had grown long with age. Lestaan, Elizabetha said quietly. May I introduce our master, Ishmael? One by one, every member of the covenant bowed, everyone except me.
Lestaan de Lacourt.
His voice was calm, measured.
It is customary to bow before the master of your covenant.
Be smart, Lestaan. Allegra's voice entered my mind. I did not so much as glance toward her. Doing so would betray our silent conversation. Please. There was something different in her voice. Not command, concern. Reluctantly, I lowered myself onto one knee, then bowed. When I looked up again, I found Ishmael smiling. A smug smile, the sort one longs to wipe from another's face. He believed he owned me, that I belonged to him. He was mistaken. I belonged to no one. And soon, I would show him